Whistler used a wire to open handcuffs, attacked when Mediterranean was distracted, and rescued Blade from the lab's surgery table. Due to heavy blood loss, Blade grew weak, and Whistler awkwardly assisted her towards the blood pool. Despite a mid-journey pop quiz from Mediterranean, they finally made it to the blood pool, and bam. Blade was back in action, while some low-level henchmen, but now she was a whole new Blade, punchy and feisty, and within just 2.5 minutes, she sent those henchmen packing. The Mediterranean tried a sneak attack, but Blade effortlessly foiled it. Subsequently, she effortlessly split him in two with a single sword stroke, and Whistler thoughtfully handed her some sunglasses as well. Blade caught and wore shades stylishly, her true form revealed. Whistler destroyed all embryos. Whistler crushed the bad guy's dreams, but just then Blade had helicopter getaway plans, only to find Susan playing gatekeeper like a moody bouncer at a club. Seeing the gooey monster arrive and end her father's life, she hoped her brother would do the same, severing the family line. Susan stayed calm. Letting the gooey monster have its fun, Blade arrived late and went full-on rage mode, unleashing a dramatic jump like she was auditioning for an action. But it was like a bad horror movie. See her mighty strike totally whiffed, and the gooey monster snapped her sword like a twig after gulping a couple of The monster moved swiftly, attacked fiercely, forcing Blade back, and was about to suck her dry with its jaw. At the crucial moment, she secretly hid the broken sword, avoided its chest armor, and thrust it straight into the monster's vital spot. Subtitles: The gooey horse fell, as if seeking swift release, and stabbed its heart with the broken sword, vanishing in agony. Meanwhile, Susan was on the verge of mutation, not wanting to become a half-human, half-monster, as she had never seen a sunrise. She shared her wish with Blade, who respected it, carried her to the balcony to watch the sunrise. Susan smiled before transforming into a lovely puff of smoke as Blade looked at the beautiful sunrise, realizing her mission wasn't to humans and vacuum bags of vampire food reserves, connected to tubes and fed nutrients to survive. On the other end, their blood was being drained like a never-ending buffet. Each human could easily yield 200 kilograms of fresh blood. To talk about a true blood vampires would snatch homeless people from US streets. Their disappearances went unnoticed, and the government likely welcomed it. The plan was implemented. Millions of homeless vanished, solving social problems and providing vampires with endless fresh blood. Subtitles: A win-win. Vampires grew smarter, learned human tech and management, all thanks to Blade. 9,960's intense vampire hunt nearly drove them to extinction. Faced with such a formidable foe, vampires had to awaken their ancestor to fight Blade, traveling to the Syrian desert. There's an ancient, mysterious altar. To act in sunlight, they wore special suits against UV rays. Upon entering the ruins, vampires used a scanning chair to detect a secret passage beneath their feet, casually prying up a floor tile like it was the latest TikTok trend. Suddenly, the ground caved in, revealing a mysterious underground entrance. As they delved deeper, the walls bore ancient hieroglyphs recounting the vampire clan's former glory. This confirmed their belief that their ancestor seal was here. Right then, their scan-holding companion. They found a humanoid at their feet, with rumbling and collapsing sand, leaving all puzzled. Just as they were about to delve into the room for investigation, a sharp claw suddenly shot out, forcing the men to split up like in a chaotic separation, awakening the ancient Dracula who had slumbered for thousands of years. Nourished by blood, Dracula revived, but that wasn't enough. Back at base, he drained hundreds. Satisfied with his human form, he flew into a rage upon learning he was awakened just to fight a Blade warrior. He scolded his disappointing descendants. Then Dracula walked to a busy street, trying to understand this new world, when a shop window caught his eye. Subtitles: It was filled with vampire-themed items, evoking a strange affinity in Dracula, but stepping inside, he saw his image. Seeing himself as a goofy bobblehead, his face darkened instantly. Time had eroded his once feared power and image. Meanwhile, the clerk noticed Dracula with a buzzcut, round face, and sexy shirt, mistaking him for a fellow from Chengdu. The clerk eagerly offered help, and Dracula was shocked that, after thousands of years, humans were still this clueless. So he lost it and trained the lady right there on the spot, turning the store into a vampire fan club. Meanwhile, vampire leader Susan planned a sneaky move. That day, Blade, as usual, destroyed vampire hideouts. After a hunt, vampires fell one by one, the last hit by Blade's move. Unexpectedly. He did not turn to ash right away. Nearby, Susan recorded the whole thing like she was directing a blockbuster. Watching him remove fake fangs, Blade realized he was tricked, leaving murder evidence soon. That tape found its way to the cops, and Blade's image plummeted overnight from just another hero to the FBI most wanted serial killer. Faced with the accusations, Blade shrugged it off, unaware this blunder would bring unbearable consequences. At this point, Susan revealed all of Blade's activities to the police, and a special forces team arrived that night. They raided the secret base. Faced with ordinary soldiers, they didn't want to harm them, so they destroyed all the data. Trying to escape, Whistler got stuck and sacrificed himself, shouting for Blade one last time. A huge explosion engulfed the base in flames, trapping Blade as special forces closed in.